October. We do have a pretty good agenda here today for everyone. We'll be covering website quote requests, fiscal year 18 rate card updates, new domain transfer costs, some information about responsive coding, addition to the proofs, quotes and kickoff deadlines, which is really turnaround times, financial order numbers, DFP policy violations, some amplified reporting updates, reveal ads that have YouTube videos in them, weekly fulfillment reports for some specific products, holiday creative shapes, and any questions. And just as a reminder to everyone, if you would please star 6 to mute your phone, star 6 to unmute your phone, that would be appreciated. And without any further ado, Michelle, I'm going to go ahead and make you the presenter and turn this over to Michelle and Jake for the first few slides.
All right, super. Just one moment, and I'll get my screen up here. I apologize for the technical difficulties. All right. Oh, you got it? I think I have it now. Thank you so much. Yes, everybody can see my screen then. Thank you for the confirmation. Well, hello everyone, and welcome to our first fulfillment call for the FY18 fiscal year. Thank you so much, Eddie, for preparing this for us today. The first topic that we're going to speak about is website quote requests. We're so excited to be able to field your quote requests as they come in and provide the information that your sales reps need. But we know that when sales reps ask for a website quote, you don't always get the information that's needed. One of the things that we would like to do is kind of give you some guidelines to identify those main goals of the site, looking at the customer's budget and knowing the approximate number of pages, as well as any services needed. So one of the things that I can't stress enough at this point is that knowing the customer's budget is extremely important. But we understand also that when asking for the budget information, it can be a little tough. So as we look through your process today, the first thing we'll remind you is that you can go to the form at FormStack to submit your quote request. Our team is going to reach out to the sales rep with questions to ensure we have all of that necessary information, and then to allow a 48 to 72-hour turnaround for that quote to be delivered. And if more detail is necessary to complete the quote, then a call will be scheduled with the customer. So as we're going through this process of going through the quotes, one of the important things is the basic information that's required for us to put this quote together. It's as simple as, your NAP information or your name, address, and phone number, and the contact of the company that we'll be speaking to. The second thing it would be is if the customer has an existing website, then that website address. And then the third thing is 3 reasons or goals why this customer wants a new website if they actually do have a website today. Within this piece, if they like their website, but they need it to be responsive, would be one great example on why we rebuild a website. Another one would be they want a completely new focus or maybe a rebrand. For example, they want to now receive leads on their website. And last, to talk about budget. How much are they currently spending on their existing provider if they have one? This is a really good big idea question, and looking at what their budget is today. In addition, how much did the company invest to have their existing site? And last, what services are currently being provided by your existing web host? Now, our goals with the questions here are to fill a customer, or at least quote that customer within the reasonable scope of the project, but also to determine the budget needs And we don't want to provide a quote that is so far out of budget that the customer won't consider it. We want to make sure that we're within the realm of what they expect and that they don't have sticker shock when they see that quote. So moving on into our next topic about quote requests, I would open up at the end for any questions or answers or information that you may need about the quote request. And I'd like to move on to our new FY18 rate cards. So effective October 1st, we will have new FY18 rate cards. Your wholesale rate cards were submitted at budget planning, and these retail rates, as always, are the recommended retail rates going forward. Always refer to your management when asking questions about rates. Our fulfillment team does not determine how much, at the end of the day, your customer is going to spend on their campaign or full product. We will be positioning these rate cards on the Amplify Local website for your use and ability to download. So let's look at really quickly what's new in the FY18 rate card. Basically, we will be adding setup fees for social and reputation. We'll also be increasing our costs for search engine registration. Website products, basically now we'll have a new hosting light package. This package is for those customers who don't have any changes or would like to purchase them a la carte. The last two items that you can expect on the rate card is an increase in wholesale website setup fees, as well as a new domain transfer fee that Jake will speak about in a little bit. These files will be located, as I mentioned, at the amplifiedlocal.com Resources General Sales section, and obviously these are effective October 1st. I'm going to go ahead and pass this next slide on to Jake Henneman to talk about our new domain transfer costs.
All right, thanks a lot. Good morning, everybody. We have a new cost on our rate cards for domain transfers, and really what you should know about domain transfers right off the bat are they're optional. Your customer does not have to have us take over the domain if they don't want to. We get kind of half and half. Some customers want to have their hosting in the same place. Others would prefer to keep them where they are. So really this domain transfer cost is an optional cost if they want to transfer their domain over to us. For a customer that needs to transfer domains over to us, it'll be $150 retail and $40 wholesale cost to do so. And that's included. We'll do a few customer domains for that. If they have a situation where a customer has several domains located in several different areas where we have to contact a bunch of different people, we might come back and quote that out for a cost at that point. But most of the, 99% of them fall into this, we're transferring one or a few domains over from the same account. The reason that we introduced this cost is because we have to actually have a couple different touch points during the domain transfer process. And first one is, when the account manager does the kickoff call, we identify who we're going to be reaching out to, or we do the research for the customer to find out who we'll be reaching out to for the domain transfer. And we have a domain specialist that works here in our office who works through those domain transfers with whoever it may be, the customer or a third party that owns those. And so this is work that we have to do on our side. This is why we kind of introduced this new cost. Already covered the more than 5 domain transfers, but if it's anything under 5, we're happy to do it for that $150 retail cost. And please, during the sales process, it's important to talk about where the domains are and if they will be needing to be transferred. A couple different reasons for that. Like I said before, the customer might want to have their domain in the same place as they have their hosting, same company. they also, if they move their site, they might have to be forced to move their domain. So it's important to have these conversations about the domain during the sales process, because the last thing we want to do is to introduce a new cost to the project during the kickoff call or thereafter when we've already got a sold order. Michelle, if you wouldn't mind, go to the next slide. Any questions on domain transfers before we move on to the next one? And if you have any questions, please feel free to shoot me an email. Jake Henneman, I'm in the Lee directory. And then another new thing that we're doing for FY18 is adding responsive coding to all the proofs we send out. And this will begin on November 1st. In the past, we presented a proof on the desktop version alone, and we kind of worked from approval in the desktop to size it down throughout the other devices. What we found is that customers would look at the site not always on their desktop. They look at it on their tablet and mobile phone, and so we have a lot of conversations about why the website isn't showing up correctly or fully responsive. So in order to kind of combat that issue we've decided to do the responsive coding for all proofs going forward. So hopefully this will make the process a lot smoother for all of us. And does anybody have any questions about responsive coding on proofs? All right, then I will pass it back to Michelle.
Thank you, Jake. So the next topic we'd like to speak about is turnaround times. For the most part, you'll see a very similar or familiar turnaround time page that will be distributed. These turnaround times will remain the same for FY 2018. But I do want to touch on a couple of things that we've had continuous questions about recently. Basically, when any change request comes in to our support team to make a change to a website, to a profile page, or even within a social proof, we will make every effort to complete that change within 24 to 48 business hours. However, if the scope of the change request cannot be completed within that standard turnaround time, your sales rep will be notified. And in addition, custom projects like websites and reputation, they'll have their own timelines that you can expect to look at in reference at the quote. And then last, on kickoff calls, a quick reminder, kickoff calls will be scheduled within 24 to 48 hours of order entry through the CRM. The account manager will schedule that call with your customer, but we'd ask if you could please provide the account manager with 3 times that would work for the customer. This will help us and the customer to be able to get that scheduled in the expected time frame. So there's no real changes here, just kind of reminders about our turnaround, and if there's anything that's outside of scope, that we'll be communicating with you as soon as we identify that. Are there any questions about turnaround times? All right, super. If you find you have any questions, you can reach out to me as well. I'm also in the Lee directory, Michelle Skadal at lee.net. And Eddie, I think we're ready to turn back the presentation over to you. Great, so requested control. Okay. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Michelle and Jake. Making sure that everybody can see my screen now. So, new for FY18 on this fulfillment side of the business is financial order numbers. Our team has been working with corporate finance and auditors, and the purpose of financial order numbers being required now is going to allow your controllers, your teams to easily audit and reconcile every campaign's revenue and expense. And it is required for all sold orders for Facebook, Audience Extension, and Google AdWords before they can run. And it's not the advertiser's customer number that we need, but it's the actual order number that's created when you set the ad or campaign up in your financial system, Phoenix, APT, or whatever system you use. And before I move any farther on that, does anyone have any questions? There was quite a lot of confusion around this, but I just want to make sure that we've addressed everybody's questions before I move on. Okay, great. So I have some good news on the DFP policy violations that occur occasionally with some of our ads within DFP. So Google constantly scans our network for policy violations. And a policy violation, there are many of them. DFP never tells us which one exactly due to privacy violations. So what they do tell us, though, is when a violation occurs, they notify our team, and then we send an email out to your market to let you know that a violation has occurred. Recently, we've had some real estate sites who have added a real estate radio widget, and that seems to trigger a violation pretty frequently. So basically, what Google has done is, it used to be they would just make the entire creative completely inactive, and you would have to take the creative again, upload it, put the URL back in order to get it to run once the violation was cleared. They've gone ahead and they've done some new things based on some feedback from the field, and now if the creatives have an active or a cleared policy violation, they will have one of these statuses, which is inactive, which means that it's disabled, and you cannot re-enable this creative in the future. You'll have to upload a new one and give it a new click-through URL. It's inactive because they have a current policy violation with it, but they're rescanning it to make sure that before they give it the disabled status, that the violation hasn't been cleared, or it's inactive, it's cleared and it's eligible for serving. This is the exciting one, because basically all you have to do then is go in and resume the line item which has been put in pause status. So this is a really great update from them. It'll be much less painful for those of you who are dealing with DFP and when a policy violation occurs. So if you need to see what creatives may be under a policy violation, you log in and you click here on the delivery tab. Over here on the left-hand side, there is a line item link, and then all line items, and then you can filter by policy violation or policy violation updated. And so again, this is a really great change that the folks at Google have done for us. So, you know, it should cut down on the number of times we have to re-upload a creative. Any questions on that before I move on? All right. So we have seen an uptick from markets in the number of requests that we receive for people to have access granted to the Amplified Reporting Suite. And each market has been provided 2 login accounts. There's one which is an ad operations team account and one for sales teams. And these are provided and paid for by the corporate team. If you need someone who, you know, definitely needs to have their own login from within your market, these are internal people, not advertisers, you will charge for any that we create over the 2 that are already provided. If you need to have passwords changed, you just need to go ahead and let us know. We'll be happy to do that for you. You can also do that by putting in the email address that you set up originally, either for your sales or ad operations team, and reset the password from the URL when you try and log in. So I have had a lot of requests recently about how to place a YouTube video into the reveal ad spot. And basically what you need to do is you need to upload the advertiser's videos to your own market channel. If you do not have a market channel, let me know. We can upload it to the Lee advertiser channel for you and then provide you the embed code back. You'll need to choose, what channel obviously you put it in. You choose the video, and so you have the video come up here on your screen. You right-click on it, and there's a spot that says Copy Embed Code. You take that embed code and you place it into the YouTube area of the Reveal Creative Network template. And then your image size is 1,000 by 400 when you're using the YouTube portion as well. That creative template puts the pieces together and forms the whole ad. And so there's been, like I said, there was some confusion on that, and I just wanted to make sure that everybody had some instructions on how to grab that embed code. Any questions? All right, with that, I am going to go ahead and pass this over to Ashley Jakey to cover weekly fulfillment reports.
Thanks, Eddie. So we just have a little update for you on the weekly reports that you receive. We are retooling our reports for websites, social media, reputation management, and digital connect projects. So we hope to have an update for you on those reports shortly. But in the meantime, if until our new format's in place, if there's anything you need, please just email our support team. It's the support@leelocal.com email address that you're probably corresponding with. Feel free to reach out if there's anything that you need from us. You can also reach out to me directly. I'm in the Lee directory, and my phone number is listed there for you, but we're more than happy to provide the information that you need upon request. And I think that's all I have, unless there's any questions on that piece. No? Okay, we'll turn it back over to you, Eddie. Thank you.
Thanks, Ashley. Okay, and this is just an update. Holiday creative shapes are going to be available for sales again this year. We won't be using the interstitial or gravity ad spot. It'll be using the 300 by 600 above the fold on desktop and the 300 by 250 for mobile. And examples and instructions will be sent out soon to everyone in the market. So all of you on the phone will make sure that we send those out to everyone. Make sure that you have them available as the sales start rolling in. And Mandy, I know that you were on the phone. Did you want to share anything else about the holiday creative shapes with the team?
I don't think so. We are working on the creative. I'm hoping as soon as we get the print creative to start working on the digital. And then as soon as we get that approved, we'll send that out to everybody.
Great. Thanks so much, Mandy, for working on that.
No problem.
Okay, and we have come to the end of our call. Is there any questions for anyone who's here?
Hi, this is Elizabeth in Lincoln. I just have a quick question.
Sure.
So with the amplified, the local reporting, you said that you've got an account for ad-ops and account for sales. So over here in Lincoln, each of our reps were able to log into the sales one and then create their own accounts. We're not getting charged for those, are we?
You're charged for anything over 2.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, that is good to know. Thank you very much.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Okay. Any other questions? Well, I would just like to say on behalf of the Amplified Fulfillment team, we appreciate all of you taking your time to spend with us today to work on these updates. Please reach out to us if you have any questions going forward, and have a great week. Hey, Eddie.
Yes. Hey, I'll just call you.
Okay.